you're all wondering why I'm here. Being as I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm working. But let me tell you a little story. Last February, 15 months ago, as you heard, I was on the treadmill for 3 days, had chest pain, totally ignored it, decided on the 3rd day to give my friend the cardiologist a call. He told me to come into the office, and I asked him if I was going to get a stress test to see what was going on. And he said, no, Steve, you already had your stress test. All I could do is kill you with another one. We're going to do a catheterization on Monday. So 2 days later, I was lying on the table. They stuck a tube up my leg into my heart, and I was awake. And I do cardiac rehab. And I heard the cardiologist say it's only one vessel, so only one artery was clogged. So I figured they would put a little metal stent in and I'd go home. He comes to me with the pictures after the procedure and he goes, here's your blockage, Steve. I said, oh, very nice. He goes, but I couldn't put a stent in because it's in the wrong place. So in 2 days, you're going to get open heart surgery. And my response was, okay, whatever it takes. So 2 days later, I had open heart surgery. Nobody knew it, but I had a stroke during the procedure. When I came out of it, my left arm wasn't working right, my right leg wasn't working great, but I could walk. Talking was fine. And the doctors all said, no, you're fine, it's from the operation. I went home. I was sitting on my couch 4 days later. And I'm sure some of you can appreciate this. All of a sudden, the room started spinning around me, like somebody had grabbed my hands and they were throwing me around in circles. My 27-year-old son was there. I said, Kevin, grab my arms, I'm falling. And I remember he ran over, he grabbed my hands, and he said, no, Dad, you're fine. And I said, no, I'm not, I'm going to fall out the window. I was sitting on the couch. He said, no, you're fine. He held me for about a minute till it went away. They brought me to the hospital, and they said I had vertigo. They did a CAT scan, they didn't see anything, they sent me home. Yeah, can you believe that? They told me I was fine. You too? Exactly the same. Yeah, it's not that uncommon, I think, because my face wasn't drooping, my speech wasn't slurring, same thing. So for 2 days, I don't want this to sound funny, but it was kind of funny. I was walking into walls at home. And every day it got worse until finally I couldn't walk anymore. So I work here at Helen Hayes Hospital. I run cardiac and pulmonary rehab. So my wife called the neurologist here, my friend Glenn Selica, at 2 in the morning. And Glenn got me into the hospital. They did an MRI, saw nothing. Then they did an MRI contrast only because he insisted, and there were 2 holes in my brain. I had a stroke on the left side, and I had a big stroke on the right side. So I was in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. My wife wasn't sleeping. They weren't doing much for me in the acute care hospital. They were doing tests. And then, of course, I came here because I work here. But I also came here because honestly, and I'm telling you guys this honestly, you're in the best rehab hospital in the world. Those are my 2 therapists over there. 2 of the best therapists in the world. You're in great hands here. There's another therapist I worked with over there. She's amazing. You are in wonderful hands here. The first night my wife slept was the first night I was here. So Lauren, who's a little bigger now, but when I met her, she was same height, about what, 4'11"? And she weighed about 97 pounds, but that was soaking wet. So I'm sitting in the wheelchair in the hall the first day I'm with her, and she goes, all right, you're going to stand now. I said, I can't stand. So she helps me stand up, and I look down, this 97-year-old woman is holding me up, and I'm not a small guy. And you've probably all had this experience. And I went, how are you doing that? She goes, no problem. And I said, so what are we going to do? She goes, we're going to do a lot of therapy, you're going to work real hard, and in 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to walk out of here. I said, okay. I was very pleasant at that time. And she said, I'm not going to give you a cane, I'm not going to give you a walker, because you're going to do it on your own. And I said, okay. 4 weeks later, I walked out of here, not well, but I did walk out of here. Did 4 more weeks of outpatient therapy, came back to work a month later. Yeah. Thank you. Anna over there was my occupational therapist. And she used to treat me all the time. Yeah. I love seeing Anna. The one day I didn't go to therapy, I was also very nauseous during all this. I didn't eat for about 3 weeks. Yeah. And one day, to put it bluntly, I was throwing up in my room. I was in the bathroom a lot. Anna comes in and goes, Steve, you're missing therapy. You've never missed before. I said, I think all I would do would be throw up in the therapy room. She goes, stay in the room. You're okay. That was the only day I missed, though. So there's a couple of things that lead to recovery. Can anybody guess what they are? What leads to recovery? One thing.
I was going to say willpower.
One thing, well, hard work. The first thing is luck. I'm lucky. I had open heart surgery and 2 bypasses. I consider myself extremely lucky. Why? Because if the big stroke was a 1/4 inch to the one side or the other, I may never have walked again. But you know what?
You're walking again.
Yes, I am. Thank you. But you know what else? It would have been okay if I never walked again. Because my wife talked to me. Because I was there to see her and the kids. We all get to our own what we call level of independence, and that's okay. If you don't get to the same level I am, if you're in a wheelchair, that's okay. If you need a walker, that's okay. The main thing is to do what those young ladies and gentlemen tell you to do. So one thing is luck, and the other thing, like willpower, is hard work. I went to therapy every day, even if I didn't feel well except the one day. I was always on time for therapy, waiting for them. And when Lauren used to bring out the hurdles and the cones, and I would go, oh, not another thing, I would just do whatever she told me. It seems like they're making things up just to bother you, but it's helping you. The harder you work, the better you recover. You want to hear something interesting too? The brain heals up to 8 years. I'm better now than I was last week. Even though I'm over a year past my strokes, 2 of them, I'm better than I was last week. We just got a treadmill in the house, so now I'm walking on the treadmill. More motor stuff. My gait's getting better because the treadmill is forcing me to walk. So the more hard work you guys put in, the better off you're going to be. I can't guarantee you're going to be walking, and believe me, I have deficits. You might not notice them. My left hand doesn't work right still. It's still numb. My balance, I'm not playing any more basketball or skiing anymore. My balance is still off. It's not perfect. But it's great. It's not better or worse than I was 2 years ago. It's just different. And it's great. And, yes, sir?
Are you driving, doctor?
Yes, I am. I'm telling you, I was blessed. I was just lucky enough. The stroke, although it was in the motor control area, no problems driving. I'm not jogging, I'm walking on the treadmill. I don't really feel I think I'd fall if I tried to jog. And I was an athlete in college. I played football and lacrosse. So like I said, it's different, but it's not worse. You adapt to whatever your level of independence is. And if that's being in a wheelchair all the time or using a walker or one eye, whatever it might be, right? You adapt to it and you feel okay. I feel fine. I feel great. I'm happier than I was in years.
I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy for you.
Thank you. And that's what you see, I hear that from people all the time.
What did he say?
What's that?
What did he say?
She said she's happy to hear that, that I feel so good. And I'm sure you're going to feel better. You might not get perfect, but you will get better. That's the important thing to remember. And like you said, sir, willpower, hard work, listening to the therapist. Some of the stuff they do may seem silly. Anna had me playing video games when I was here. And I remember she put the video game in my left hand. And I was supposed to shoot targets. In my left hand, I'm shooting the ceiling and the floor. And she said it was fine. And I'm very competitive, and I was getting frustrated. But look at my hand now. It's steady as a rock. Why? Not anything I did, it's what they did. And it's what you're going to do. So, discussion, questions, anything, guys? That's why I'm here. I can talk to you from the therapy side. I work here as a therapist. Or I can talk to you from the patient side. Anything frustrating you right now?
What about if you want to drive? If your right side's all right and you feel all right, just the weakness here, it's okay?
I'm going to shoot that back to the therapist. Driving, if your right side is okay and your left side is involved.
You know, we always recommend an evaluation.
Okay, yeah.
We always recommend an evaluation because with driving, there's different components involved besides motor.
How do you get
Well, we would get a doctor's order first. That's like the main thing.
Oh, okay.
And then we could do preliminary tests, is like pre-driving screening, and then we take it from there. And then we, if it's appropriate, we could always schedule an on-road evaluation while inpatient or even outpatient, because our outpatient department does.
I guess after you finish your actual therapy, then you see. There
Yeah.
you go.
Right.
That's exactly what I did. When I was an inpatient, they gave me on the computer a simulation with driving. And you have to test your skill turning the wheel and your reaction time hitting the brake, because you don't want to hit the brake late. Then when I was an outpatient, they gave me a real driving evaluation in the car, and they go with you. So it's a process. As you get better, it's a process. Yes, sir?
How old were you when you had the stroke?
I was 58. I know I look only, 42? But I was 58, 59, now I'll be 60 next month.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Don't look good.
Can you come home with me? I need all this positive support. You are wonderful.
Steve, what about any challenges you find transitioning from like being in the hospital to going home?
Yeah.
Kind of things.
First of all, the biggest challenge I found, two big challenges I found going home. That's a great question. Number one, and I still feel this, number one is fatigue, tiredness. And I see a lot of nodding heads. Post-stroke fatigue is a big problem, and I see a lot of nodding heads. It doesn't necessarily go away, you just have to kind of adjust your lifestyle. I used to get away with 6 hours sleep. I can't do that anymore. I used to come into work at 7, I can't do that anymore. So you just adjust. So one of the biggest adjustments going home was adjusting my sleep pattern, adjusting my activity pattern. You don't want to be less active, but you spread it out throughout the day instead of doing everything all at once. The second thing is, I was home alone for 4 weeks. Doesn't sound like a long time, but it is. Sitting on the couch, the only time I really got out, and the only time I really wanted to get out at that point, because I lost the motivation to get out, was when I came into outpatient therapy. So I'd sit on the couch, and believe me, sitting on the couch watching TV, after 2 days, you're done. And I love TV. Fortunately, I had my dog to keep me company. It was amazing. He knew something was wrong. He normally sleeps all over the house. For 4 weeks, he slept next to me. He sat next to me. Wherever I walked, he followed me. They sensed something, right. He knew something was wrong. And he was a great companion. But the two biggest adjustments, I think, are fatigue and inactivity. And you can overcome both of those, but gradually. Don't get upset about those. I did. I got upset about sitting around feeling tired, but you worked your way through it. Like I said, it's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. Yes, sir?
Did you have any vision weakness?
Any what?
Vision.
No, I was very fortunate. I had one visual disturbance, which they don't even know about because I didn't tell anybody until recently. Every once in a while when I woke up, this is really weird, the room would be upside down. I remember my son walked in once and he was upside down, and I looked at him, I shook my head a few times and he flipped, and I said, all right, we're okay now. But other than that, no, I was very lucky. I didn't have any visual. Speech was fine. Here's another thing you're going to realize. Self-awareness, in other words, understanding what you're going through, comes much later. I thought I was fine, except I couldn't walk when I came in here. And I was doing, with my speech therapist, I was doing these word puzzles. And I would stare at them for 15 or 20 minutes. I got them all, and I'd get them right. And she'd go, oh, that's good. And one day I said to her, where'd you get these? And she goes, oh, out of a 5th grade workbook. So it's taking me 15 minutes to do 5th grade work, and I'm a doctor. That's when I kind of realized, oh, maybe it's not 100% up here and it's going to take some time. But I think my brain is as fast now as it ever was. Because as I said, you keep recovering. The more you do, the better you recover. Talk to your family. The more visits, the more people you talk to your therapist, go to therapy, interact. Don't just sit in the room and say, oh, I had a stroke, I can't do this. Yes, you can. You can give it a shot. You might not be able to do everything, but you can give it a shot. That's the important thing, is trying. Not doing, but trying. Yes, sir?
I'm having a hard time with, I first get, you and I are very similar in what we have. And I told me I had vertigo before one week, almost 2 weeks, and I found out I had a stroke. The transition I'm finding is that I get everybody. First, I know this person has vertigo, then now we're at the stage. This person has a stroke, but everybody's different. We're all different. It's different parts of the brain.
Right.
The only theme is it seems people get better, but you don't really, there's being afraid of or anxiety about, like I said, man, will I be able to hit the golf course?
Exact. I still haven't gone back, but that's one of my goals. I still haven't gone back, but that's one of my goals. I'm still working on that. The question is, we all have it. I had it, you have it, you have it, you have it. Anxiety over, you're here now, Are you going to be here later or are you going to be here later? There's no way to tell. I did, again, the therapists don't know this. I was pretty cheerful throughout all this. You know, I was not cheerful, but I was strong-willed. I wanted to get through this. But there was one night, my wife and I were alone in my room. It was 9 o'clock. She was leaving, and we both broke down. And I said to her, is this what it's going to be? And she said, well, if this is what it's going to, and I was still in the wheelchair, if this is what it's going to be, we'll work it out, not a problem. So, yes, always strive to get better, but at the same time, realize where you are and it's okay. If you can't get back to the golf course, you may be able to do adapted golf. We even have a program here where they teach you to swing from a wheelchair one-handed. I know, it's different. I don't know if I'm going to get back to the golf course. I'm certainly not getting back on the basketball court, I know that. Don't tell the therapist, but I drive motorcycles, but I'm not doing that anymore. I scuba dive, I'm not doing that anymore. So you got to give some stuff up. You know, the high danger things that, yeah, my little bit of reaction time, my little bit of balance may throw off. I'm not going to do those anymore. But you do something else.
So Doctor, your balance.
How long were you in a wheelchair?
Wait, let me, 1 and 2. Go ahead, sir.
You still have balance issues?
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to show off to Lauren, but I can't, without really concentrating, I still have balance issues. I took a golf club a couple of months ago, and I took a swing in Dick's, and I almost fell backwards into the rack. My wife had to catch me. So we're not quite there yet. Question.
How long were you in a wheelchair?
I was in a wheelchair about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah. But baby steps. I mean, the first 2 weeks, no walking at all. Then baby steps. And then I remember the test Lauren gave me when I left. She sat in the therapy room and I had to walk around the entire corridor. I don't know how she had the guts to do that. I was like, oh. But I made it, and then she knew I could go home. But I might have gone home in the wheelchair. You never know. And that's okay, too.
And I think what we want you to get from Steve, too, is that this is a process.
Yes.
He's still getting better, you know? So it's not like you leave Helen Hayes, that's the end. You leave
No.
the place, that's the end. You finish outpatient, that's the end. There's always more. There's a continuum.
And you're going to be going home with a bunch of exercises. Some look silly, some look hard. Do them. Do them. I used to teach at Mercy College in the physical therapy program. I retired from that after the strokes, just so I could work here without getting exhausted. They called me a couple of weeks ago to come back as a patient. The students evaluate real patients. So I came back as a stroke patient, and the students were evaluating me. And I didn't quite do as well on the one-legged stance as I thought I would. And they said to me, are you doing your exercises? I said, no. So I've been doing them since then. And I've been getting better again. So if you stop doing things, you go back. You don't just stop, you go backwards.
And you go to therapy now?
No, therapy is done. I'm doing all the exercise at home.
And how long after you left here did you go out externally?
I went for another 5 weeks. So I did 9 weeks total of
How many
therapy.
times a week did you go?
Twice a week. Whoop. We're having technical difficulties. Give me a second. There we go. I did 9 weeks total. 5 weeks of outpatient, twice a week. And honestly, I almost wished it would have been more, but it was plenty. They had me working real hard. Any other questions?
No, it was very interesting to hear your
Thank
story.
you.
God bless you.
God bless you, and I wish you all the best luck, but I also wish you hard work, because that's what you need to keep moving forward.
True, it is.
Good. Anything else? Lauren? Anna? No?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you. It was my pleasure. If you ever have any questions in the future, you can get me through either of the therapists. Yes, sir.
Did you have problems with a possible lack of improvement?
Repeat that?
I'm not going as fast as I feel I should. You ever had that problem?
What kind? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
Okay. I am not going in food as fast as I think I'd like to.
He doesn't
Did
feel
you
like
ever have
improving
any
as fast as
problems?
he thought.
Yes, I did. Same frustration. And I bet you I improved faster than you, but I was still frustrated. It's all where you think you are. Very frustrating, and the only thing that helps the frustration is working hard and listening. And I'm not advertising anything, I'm just telling you what I feel. But I was very frustrated.
Information.
It's part of the process. Being frustrated is part of any disease, whether it's a stroke, heart attack, head injury. Frustration is part of the process. And you'll feel better. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Take care.